Hello all, I'm Marin. I'm a primary school librarian for grades pre-K through second, and this is going to be a week in my life. This is actually our last week of school before winter break. Today is Monday, December 15th. So I'm going to bring you along this week. We have some schedule adjustments and things due to rehearsals for winter concerts and half days on Thursday, Friday. So things will be a little bit different. So I thought it would be a good week to bring you along. I haven't done a week in my life in a while, so I'll kind of catch you up on things. But right now I need to head outside for bus duty. So just wanted to kind of get this started, and then I will bring you along throughout the day and do as many updates as I possibly can. We'll see how busy it gets. So here we go. Okay, I'm back inside. It is brutally cold outside. It's like 18 degrees, and that's not counting the wind chill. So thankfully I only had to be outside for like 5 minutes. The buses were on time today, which was nice. So while I have a couple minutes, let me talk about the books that I'm going to be reading to the students this week. There's only 2 of them because I am working on the Missouri Award nominees for pre-K and kindergarten and first and second. So for pre-K and kindergarten, I am reading the building block nominees. I will link up above a review of last year's nominees. If you want to go back and watch that, you're looking for children's book recommendations, you can check that video out, but there are 10 of them total, and we have 2 left to read with kindergarten and pre-K. So I'll read one of them this week and then one of them the week we come back from winter break, because their voting is due, I want to say like the 15th of January. I can't quite remember. So I need to knock those out the first week we're back. Basically, you read these nominees to the students and then they vote for their favorite. The votes are then collected, and the book that gets the most votes throughout the entire state is the one that wins the award for that year. The same thing happens for first and second. They are doing the Show Me Award nominees, and I just started with those last week. Second grade was doing a book study of Cat Kid Comic Club because we went and saw the musical and we wanted them to have like a basis for the story. So I did that for like the first quarter and a half. I would say it took about 8 weeks because there were 8 chapters. So we did that with second grade. So I did not start the Show Me nominees as early as I normally would. So I started last week. So they are reading that one. However, I'm not sure that all classes, kindergarten and second grade, for the next 2 days are going to actually have time to read the book. So I'm going to have to kind of play around with that because they are rehearsing for their Christmas, or their winter concert, I should say, that is tomorrow night. So they are rehearsing during specials time. So we'll see how long that takes. But anyway, that's enough rambling. Let's talk about the books. So I always put everything that I need for class in this bucket right here. So kindergarten and pre-K, I don't have pre-K till Friday, but kindergarten and pre-K are reading a book called Just One Flake. I'm gonna actually put the cover right here because my copy does not have the dust jacket on it because it's getting laminated, because I don't have any other materials to prep and prepare and keep the dust jackets from getting all messed up. So they're being laminated. So I just have the book right here. This is about a boy who really wants it to snow. He wants to catch a snowflake on his tongue. So that's kind of the setup for this. So once we read that, there's just going to be a coloring sheet for them to color, and pre-K is doing an easier coloring sheet. I'll grab theirs. Theirs looks like this. It's just a snowflake. So those are the 2 coloring sheets for pre-K and kindergarten. So that's their book. And then first and second are going to be reading, what is it? The Kitten Story, A Mostly True Tale. And this is about a family that wants a cat. The girls want a kitten. Dad wants an adult cat. And this is about them trying to adopt this cat because things kind of keep going wrong. But in the end, they do adopt a cat right here. So that's that story. The publisher of this one actually has some activities that it put together. So they're going to do this cat adoption interest form, and we'll fill that out together. And then on the back is just a coloring sheet. So that's it. Very low stress, easy to put together. I don't have to do too much prep for those, which is nice because it is the week before winter break and I am quite tired. So yes, so I do need to add, here's the other sheet because this is for first and second. So they're both in here ready to go. And then of course, kindergarten's here. Kindergarten is the one that I'm not sure that we're going to actually have class because of the rehearsal. Second grade, we probably will at least have some of the time. So I should be able to get the story read for them, but we'll just have to see how it goes. So that's kind of the lessons. Very easy, very simple. And the goal is just to make it through the week and hopefully have a good time doing it. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are regular full days. Thursday is a half day, Friday is a half day. And that is because middle and high school have finals and it gives those teachers times to grade the finals and then put grades in, that's the bell, for report cards. But we are also getting that half day for like teacher work time because our teachers do also have report cards. I don't do report cards for library, so thankfully I don't have to worry about that, but to make it equitable, we are all getting those half days, which we didn't used to get. It used to only be middle and high school, but that's something that our NEA negotiations team kind of worked out for us to have this year, which is nice. So that's it. I have to go ahead and get ready for the first class. I'm going to just meet them in the gym. That's where they're practicing. And we're going to get this Monday started and hope that it is a good day. So today should be a pretty good day. I have pretty good classes today. Tomorrow's classes are a little rough, particularly the second grade class. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, I will also share my Google Slides like I always do. I did decorate a little bit for Christmas/winter. I did a video on that. I'll link it up above if you want to go back and watch. It's not anything fancy, but I did set up some winter stuff. You can kind of see the bulletin board behind me is my winter bulletin board. It's going to stay up until February. But yes, I think that's all I have for you right now. So let me stop talking and get into my day. Hello all, it's actually Wednesday. I did not film at all yesterday. Things were just really busy trying to prepare for the winter concert, which we had last night. I didn't get out of here till like 8:15, so it was a late night. Thankfully, I don't live very far from where I work, but it was a late night. I'm back again today. So today is our last full day of the week. So Thursday and Friday are half days, so we only have 30-minute specials blocks. But today's a full day. I only have 2 classes though. I have first grade and second grade. So I'm hoping that I can do a lot of like cleanup and things like that because the library is looking a little rough. You can see behind me, there's like shelves that need to be straightened back out, things that need to be put away. I have books to shelve that I didn't get to yesterday. I want to go ahead and make my copies for Thursday and Friday, so those are done. So that kind of stuff needs to get completed because we are counting down to the last few days of the week, and I would like to leave the library on Friday like in really good shape. So that's the goal. I'm going to start with just straightening things up and putting away the books that came in over the last 2 days because I haven't had time to shelve them. So now that the winter concert is out of the way, I can settle in and get done what I need to get done. I also have the book covers laminated, so I'm gonna work on putting those on the actual books. One of them got messed up though, so I'm gonna have to have that one redone. They forgot to like open the flap up when they did it, so it was like sealed, and obviously I need the flap opened up so that it fits on the book. So that one will have to get redone, but the rest of them look good to go. So I have the stack, you're actually sitting on the stack of books that I need to put the covers on, so I'm hoping I can get that knocked out today as well. So that's kind of going to be the goal. I'll bring you along as I usually do, and we're going to hope that we have a good day. Again, only 2 classes, so I'm hoping that it'll be good. So here we go. is Thursday, so we have a half day of school today with students. We have our regular specials classes that we would usually have, except that instead of having them for a full hour, I will only have them for 30 minutes. So we're gonna do the same lesson and basically see how much we can actually get done in that 30 minutes, because the classes that I have today, except for kindergarten, are tricky. They're pretty challenging classes. There's a lot of off-task behaviors, a lot of talking, and that's across the board, even in their regular classroom. So we'll see how it goes. Regardless, I'm just gonna be reading the same books that I already mentioned earlier in this video, and then the students start dismissing at like 12:30. So I think we are done at 1 in terms of dismissal. So anybody who is still here will just be moved up to the front. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I think the principal is going to let us leave early today, so maybe I will get out before the normal time. Hopefully, I would love that. And then tomorrow it's basically the same thing. So I'm going to get papers out on the tables for kindergarten. We do not have like any buffer time between the classes. So I have a class at 9:30, 10, 10:30, and 11. So I'm straight through from 9:30 to 11:30, and then I get a planned time, and then we start dismissal basically. So that's the day. So I'm going to, like I said, put those papers out on the tables, get the crayons ready for kindergarten. I got the majority of the books shelved that I wanted to get shelved yesterday. I still have 2 piles here. I do need to get the baskets into the classroom so they can turn their books in. So I will need to shelve those. And then in general, I managed to straighten up like the shelves. You can see the one behind me is no longer falling over. I straightened up everything else as well. So the library is looking pretty decent, but yes, we will just see how it goes. I'm hoping that it will be a good, quick day, because we are 2 days until winter break, and everyone in this building is pretty tired. So yes, anyway, let me go ahead and get my slides pulled up. I'll run you through those really quickly, and then I'm probably gonna have to head outside for bus duty. So I will try my best to check in with you throughout the day. We'll just have to see how it goes, but let's take a look at the slides. Side note, really quickly, I forgot to mention, Monday we got an email from our office manager saying not to use a specific door. It's the door that leads out to the playground. And then we got another email saying no recess, which it was really, really cold on Monday, so we wouldn't have taken the kids out anyway, because I think with the wind chill, it was like 17 degrees or something like that. But the reason for that is that there was a coyote that was hanging around in our back field. Our art teacher actually went outside and like filmed a little video. So I'll insert that right here so you can get a little glimpse of the little guy that was romping around outside and causing us to not be able to go out. So here's that video. And then as a joke, someone said we should name the coyote in case the coyote was going to become like a permanent fixture. And the art teacher responded that the music teacher had already christened the coyote Jeff. So that was Jeff the coyote. I hope you enjoyed. All right, here's a look at kindergarten slides. So we have the welcome to class sign here, and then we have our agenda, which I do go over before every class. We have our library song, which we do sing together. We have carpet expectations. The next slide is our library rules, which I'm going to skip over because it does have my school name on it. And then here are the building block nominees that I've been reading to kindergarten and pre-K. So you can see we are down to just 2 books left, and we are reading one of them today, which is this one, as I've already talked about. So we have our book, then we have our little brain break here to get them up and moving, get some energy out, and then we talk about our focus for our activity and then their activity. I started doing this last month, I think, where I have the actual assignment and the items they will need to complete the activity. And then we have just playtime, cleanup, and line up. So that is kindergarten's. The slides for first and second are identical because we're doing the same lesson. So again, the welcome to class, the agenda, we have carpet expectations, and the library rules are the next slide. Then we have the Show Me Award nominees, which is what I've been reading. So you can see we've only read one of them so far. We're reading the second one today, and that is, of course, the kitten story, which I've already talked about. Then we have a question. Sometimes it's more than one. Sometimes it's a shout out. Sometimes I call in individual people. Sometimes I do a turn and talk. This one has multiple parts, so we do some of this together and then they do a turn and talk for the rest of it. And then we have the focus. We're doing text to self connections, and then again, their activity. They have two sides to their paper, so I have both of them on here, but again, the materials, they need to complete it. They show me this signal when they are finished. That lets me know that they are ready to play. We have the checkout timer. They get 15 minutes for the whole class to find a book. I call them a few at a time though. They don't all do it at once. And then playtime, cleanup, and lineup. So that is what first and second grade slides look like. So there you go. Those are the slides. Again, nothing fancy. I've used that format for the last few years and it works really well. It gives them an idea of what we're going to get up to, etc. So my hope today is that I can get all the books put away so that I will not have anything lingering into tomorrow. And then I will only have to deal with one class worth of books tomorrow because pre-K and kindergarten do not check out yet. We're going to start checkout with kindergarten after we come back from winter break. So I will only have the one first grade room to put the books away. So all of that will be done. We are actually getting to leave right after the kids dismiss, so we don't have to stay for the full day tomorrow because we are not getting our full plan or a duty-free lunch. So to compensate for that, she's letting us leave early. Again, I already mentioned I think she's going to let us leave early today as well, but I do have some things I want to do today before I leave. So that's the agenda. Let me stop talking and let's get this Thursday half day with students started. Okay, I am done with all of my classes. So right now I am going to get everything off of my computer. We always pull up a little video for them to watch at dismissal. So I'm gonna get that ready. And then I'm going to clean up the tables behind me and check in the books that got dropped off today. I would like to get them shelved, but I'm not gonna lie, if she says we can leave early, I'm probably leaving early. So yeah, so we'll see what all gets done. But yes, let me pull this up. I just found like a Happy Holidays Looney Tunes thing. So that's what they can watch during dismissal. So that's done. Let me straighten these up and scan these books in, and then we'll be pretty close to dismissal. We have a little under an hour before dismissal starts. So here we go. So it wouldn't be a day that ends in Y if I didn't have to repair the binding of a Dog Man book. I feel like I do this literally every day. The bindings of these are just not meant for the amount of handling these books get. So I really wish publishers would look into this because these are technically library bound and I'm still having to fix them constantly. Hello all, it is Friday, hooray. That means it is our last day before winter break. We do have early release again, so we will start dismissal at 12:40. I have 3 classes today, so I go from 9:30 to 11, and then I have the rest of the time between then and dismissal to do whatever I might need to do in the library. And last time I talked to our principal, we are being allowed to leave after the kids dismiss. So I should be done by like 1, which will be great. So it's Friday. That in itself is cause for celebration. This is going to be a really easy day because the 3 classes that I have today are typically quite well behaved. So I have kindergarten at 9:30, I have first grade at 10, and I have pre-K at 10:30. And pre-K comes with an aide. So that's always helpful too. She helps a little bit with like the lesson or just behavior management, things like that. So that makes it easier as well. So that's going to be the day for today. I do not have second grade. My goal for today is going to be to plan out my stuff for when we come back from winter break. I already know what books we're reading, but I need to go ahead and get like activities ready for those and then update the slides. So that will be what I work on. And then it will be time to go on break. So that is exciting. I will do my best to get a little bit of footage today. I imported everything and was surprised that this video is actually already at like 20 minutes. So I'm impressed with myself that I've managed to get that much footage. So we'll just see what I can add to it for today. But I'm hoping it will be a nice, chill, easy day and we can go out on break. So I will check in with you after my classes and let you know how they went and then bring you along as I prep for returning from break. Okay, I just finished updating the slides. It's a new month, so I always change like the cover image. I have just like different files on my Google Drive where I keep all of the slides for each month. So I just did January's. I'm going to quickly mention the books that we're reading and then the activities we're going to do. So pre-K and kindergarten are going to be reading I Live in a Tree Trunk. This is by the same author and illustrator who wrote I Was Born a Baby, which was one of the books last year that the kids really liked. Basically, it's just talking about where different animals live. So that's the book for pre-K and kindergarten. For first and second, they are reading Basketball Dreams, which is written by Chris Paul. So it's about him and his grandfather and the way that his grandfather kind of inspired him to become a basketball player. And then I'm going to show them like a top 10 Chris Paul highlight thing that I found on YouTube. And then for the activities, let me grab the papers. So for Basketball Dreams, Mazel, which is the Missouri Association of School Librarians, created a lesson plan to use where kids are going to be creating their own business plan because the grandfather in that book owns his own small business. So it's going to give them a chance to make connections to the characters. I'm going to go ahead and actually binder clip these. So that's going to be for first and second. I'm going to see how it goes on Monday, and then I might have to make some adjustments for like the rest of the week. So we'll play that one by ear, but I did copy those and run those off. And then for pre-K and kindergarten, I did a paper that they are going to do a few times this year. So I used the Read Aloud Librarian's lessons as like inspiration for this because she does this. She's the one whose curriculum I have. So I took 6 pictures of animals and they're going to color in the ones that are actually in the book. So the book does not have a cow or a hamster, but it does talk about the other 4. So they're going to color those in, and then there is a coloring sheet on the back of just some animals. So that's what I found for kindergarten. And then that's all done and ready. So I can just put these in the bucket and be ready to go on that. And that's pretty much it. So I did update the slides like I mentioned. That's really what I wanted to do. Now I'm going to go through and work on these tables behind me because I need to put out some new crayons, new pencils. It's a new semester, so I do that at each quarter. So I'm gonna take care of that. I'm gonna trade out the bins that are here that have toys, and I'm gonna switch out the activities for those because I rotate them around. So each week the table has a different activity to play with. We've now rotated it all the way around, so it's time for new activities. So that is another thing I want to get done before I leave. I need to check in the books from first grade, shelve those, and it is 12:05. So we're gonna start dismissal here probably in about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna see how much I can get done in 15 minutes and then finish the rest before I go home. So here we go.